Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. I was looking around for some articles for this MGTOW video earlier today, and there's not really that much that's up to date, which is understandable as 2020 has only just started. Most of the articles I found was dated mid to late 2019, but yesterday Sandman did a video Sandman did a video about what happens when Big Daddy government runs out of money, and I found this article which is on a similar vein. I wouldn't take it too literally, as it tends to be a satirical type article with his tongue firmly wedged in his cheek, but there are some things which I found interesting and coincides with Sandman's point of view, even though he has a defeatish attitude. Namely, this bit, whoops, not that one, this bit here, hate it when that happens. In both the US and Japan now, a whopping 2/3 of young men under 35 refuse to marry and have kids. The process has gone further and has been going on longer in Japan than in Western countries, i.e. the herbivore men. So Western MGTOW masculates can learn a lot about what the Japanese MGTOWs are doing, or rather not doing. It goes on to explain that we sort of have the upper hand in this situation, as 2/3 of men in America are not going to have children. That means the prime age group, and the population in Japan will decrease as it's expected to by up to 1/3, and the population of America is also going down. He said this bit, so jump ahead some years in the Western future, when the MGTOW masculinist ideas have gone mainstream, which they are going, which is why we're being attacked all the time, and everyone is aware of if the gender politicians and governments don't do something, whole populations will be wiped out. Well, I don't agree with that, but the population will be drastically reduced. Means the workforce will go down, which means the tax revenue will go down, which means there won't be enough money for paying women to get free stuff, so women will give them the votes. So this flyer asks a critical question here: what will the governments do with the MGTOW masculates? Explain the Japanese, and Japan has also got a minister for families, even though he's not doing that good a job because the population is still going. Whoops. Hate it with that thing. It is possible that Western ministers of population will make the same mistakes, i.e. the Japanese one, slipshod and poorly thought out, which is where we MGTOW masculinist theorists come in. We can teach these gender politicians what the real problems are, that if we want to persuade men to reproduce again, then the gender politicians will have to mend the gender laws and make society respect men again. Otherwise, young men will continue to give the finger to traditional gender roles and avoid fluffle parasites like the plague. Fluffle parasites, I assume he means manginas and white knights and other such people. Anyway, the next paragraph is interesting. Of course, I'll put the link below. As push really comes to shove, the gender politicians may resort to more forceful methods, which Sandman covered, such as putting heavy taxes on non-fathers, i.e. a bachelor tax. Well, that didn't work for the Romans, and it didn't work in the Middle Ages, so I can't see it working now. If they do that too much, the Western MGTOWs will really give them the finger by voting with their feet and simply migrating to countries where the cost of living is lower. Probably if you're American, Southeast Asia. I wouldn't want to go there, but it's up to you. Where their nest egg will have higher purchasing power. That's what Sandman covers at the beginning of every one of his videos. So they will have higher living standards. Being MGTOWs, they can uproot themselves easily and migrate in large numbers. Of course, single guys can move wherever they want. If we, the MGTOW masculinist theorists, do a good job, we will be able to educate the gender politicians that to solve the crashing population problem, some fundamental changes will need to be made to our culture, namely the creation of a FIP culture. I don't know what that is, I'll have to look it up. I.e. one which all adults are FIPs and young people are socialised into that role. This bit is interesting. Women will need to be persuaded that if they are not FIPs, they will be severely punished by not getting a man and not having babies. Best of luck with that with the feminists. Daughters need to be taught by parents that they must be FIPs or be shunned by society. Again, best of luck with that. Teachers at high schools and colleges need to be push both sexes to study FIPs, STEM majors. No chance, not with the state of a college and education in America. And not be fluffle crappers studying fuffle crap majors. I assume that means gender politics and other such stuff, so that they can be career competent citizens. In other words, doing proper jobs. Those who do not parasite on another person or the government. Well, women like free stuff, and women give the governments the vote in exchange for free stuff. And it goes on to what happens. And this bit. How long before the shit hits the fan in Western countries? My guess is only a few years from now. Google Trends show that keyword MGTOW is getting an exponential rise in the number of hits. One commentator I read said that he had calculated that by 2018, well, 2020 now, MGTOW ideas would be mainstream. Well, they're not really mainstream, but the mainstream are starting to take us more seriously. I.e. the broadcast media would have latched on the importance of the population crash. I don't think the American TV networks have even mentioned the population crash. But then I'm not an American, so if those of you which are Americans, you'll probably know better than me. And it goes down, so on the final paragraph, so governments will be forced to give men what we want, or we will all die out. Well, we won't all die out, but there will be a drastic reduction in the population. MGTOW masculists have the ultimate power, yes. Sooner or later we will get what we want. Governments have no other choice. Yeah, that's right. Let's see what Google Trends is saying about MGTOW. New window. Google Trends. Google Trends. MGTOW. Up and down. Up and down. Let's see in America. See, worldwide. Pretty much the same. Whoops. Feminism. Well, that's dipping. Let's go back. That's MGTOW. That's feminism. Even Stevens. Feminism all over the world. Zimbabwe, 100%. That's because the number of rapes in Africa. Let's see. MGTOW. More in Canada. 74 in America. 57 in Brazil. 81 in Australia. 8% in Russia. See in Britain 51, same as it. Feminism in feminist Sweden. 42. Anyway, let's just see. MGTOW. Men going their own way. More or less the same. Little over 50%. Anyway, as I said, this article is a bit satirical, even though there are some elements of truth in it, and he's the guy who wrote it. I found something similar, which on a more serious note, I'll leave that for the next MGTOW video that I do. But just for this one, that's it, people. Right, you know the routine. Like, dislike, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, wherever it is you want to do. It's completely up to you. I might be able to do one next weekend, but I'm going to be quite busy. So if it's not next weekend, it'll probably be the weekend after. Right, that's it for this one. Right, bye-bye.